I'd like to begin with a fact.
All fucking day. All day.
Okay.
Brian better.
Here's what happened. I called you. You have the same birthday as my mom. I called you right after I called my mother. So that is where you fell on the priority list on November 7th. It was the person that brought me into this world, carried me in her stomach, in her womb for 9 months, delivered me into this world. And then you was.
Well, all I hear is you should have called your mom earlier in the day.
Hey.
What? Yeah, exactly.
And who else was it? Is it Noe's
brother? Also shares a birthday.
The same day.
Yep.
What?
Yeah.
November 7th.
Yep.
That's a day, man. It is a day. You're a Scorpio, right? What's the moon for that?
It depends. Yeah, you're not asking the right question.
Do the astrology for quick.
No, Mercury was not in Gatorade that day, dude.
No.
I haven't Gatorade that day.
Well, we're back on Millennialistic. This is episode 132.
Tell me.
High five, dude. 132 episodes. Hell yeah. Millennialistic. We're here with our good friends, Ghosts in Space. But as we call them, Brian and Samantha. Hi, friend.
Hi.
What's up?
Samantha, you're keeping your strong streak of most returned guests ever in Millennialistic history, I believe. So congrats. Brian, you're like slowly climbing that list into like a strong number 2. So I like it.
My heart, buddy.
Cool. You guys been doing anything lately, or like just been chilling the last month or so, or like what have you been doing in like October or anything cool you guys?
We've been doing a lot of I personally have been doing a lot of avoiding the outside world as much as possible, because you just need a break after being overstimulated by all the things for like 11 and a half months. But we did go to Arkansas a couple weeks ago. Our friend, she actually was at Goddess Awakening. Haley, Joe, and her 2 daughters, they all came to Goddess this year. She actually came last year as well. And they have 200 acres in Arkansas. So they have a cabin, and they offered for me and Brian to like go out there. And then they met us out on Saturday. So that's actually how we celebrated our 3-year anniversary. Wow, 3 years. Woo! We did it. We made it. So
wait, hold on 1 second. I don't know.
Yep.
yeah, I saw it.
But yeah, love it. Okay, anyway, continue. So reset in Arkansas a little bit, off the grid action, yeah.
They only have a home phone, so there's like no cell phone service, no Wi-Fi, no TV.
Like all type deal.
Yes.
Yep.
I
Exactly.
Yeah.
think we need one of those for the podcast studio. But anyways, we specifically just need something that if we want to order pizza, press 1, go to. Anyways, but no, I love that. So you guys were there just like chilling for the weekend?
Yep. Yeah, we got to bring the dogs, which was also really cool. So they got to hang out with us in nature. They had bought a brand new side-by-side. So when they came out, their little ones wanted to drive around nonstop. So they kind of chauffeured us around all of the property, and Chewy sat on her lap. Frida's a little too big for the side-by-side with all the people, but she got to hang out on the back porch with a bunch of other dogs. So she was loving that. She was the big dog in the pack. So she loved it.
What's that?
Where's Frida?
Oh, they're all in the bedroom because we have 5 animals, so we're trying to keep it calm.
Yeah.
So gotta keep it professional,
You gotta let the
Yeah.
people out there.
and I understand, with all of our listeners, all of our followers out there, we've set a standard pretty.
It's pretty obvious. I mean, you got episode 132.
No, yeah, 132 episodes. No. But no, and we even talked about that of like, I feel like that's like kind of healthy, like you said, like after that long of like planning, like, and I feel like in any profession, like if you do taxes, like January, February, March, April is a fucking grind. After that, take a break, go reset for a little bit. So talk about that a little bit. I mean, do you have you felt the importance of that? Like what kind of coming down from that, what have you guys learned in that, like, decompress, put things on pause mode?
Well, definitely for me, I got tricked into getting an iPhone from being a longtime Android user right before the festival.
Got her.
So it took me, I don't know, like 12 hours to sign in to all of my accounts because it doesn't just transfer over since it's a different platform. And still to this day, I cannot figure out how to log into Facebook. So that means Facebook, that means Meta, which is where we do tons of our business, and Messenger, which is like, I feel like people primarily try to communicate with me via Messenger. And I don't have it on my phone. So the only time I have it is if I'm opening my laptop, which I've been not opening my laptop as much because I'm not working on the festival. So for me, it's kind of been like the universe telling me, like, you need to disconnect. You need to have this time to not feel the need to respond to everyone like right away. So, and going forward, it's like, how do we adjust what that looks like? So I'm not the only one primarily in charge of answering questions and emails and the customer service side of things.
Okay. I love it. Yeah, no, I think that's important to have le balance. But all right, so let's jump in a time machine really quick. Let's not fast forward. What's the opposite? Rewind. Fast forward, rewind.
Yep.
Millennialistic minute. You guys remember
VCR
VCR players?
growing
You guys,
up, Brian.
Millennialistic. All right, this is our new segment, the Millennialistic minute. You guys remember fucking VCR tapes?
Oh yeah. I remember going and picking out a movie to rent. We would
And
like
they
pick
had
one out
the-
as kids.
See, we had
But-
a double VCR, so we go to Blockbuster, rent the movie, have a blank VCR, record that shit, take it back.
But how did you do that? Remember, because there was a copy protection. What was it on a VCR tape?
I don't remember. It was my stepdad.
DJ,
All right, so on the
beginning.
side of the VCR tape where you put the label, there was a little tab. If you broke that tab off, it was copy protected. If it wasn't broken off, you were able to record over it. Yeah, I'm about to be 49, so I know about VCRs
I
a
was
lot
young,
more.
it was going down, but I strictly remember bootlegging Blockbuster all day.
Oh yeah,
My
all you had to do was put a piece of tape over it, and it would work.
I don't know what it did, but it wasn't nothing crazy, and then boom.
Why do I have to rewind the VCR tape before I return it? Like, why can't you guys
'Cause you're a
rewind
decent
it
human
after
being.
I return it? I just thought that was weird.
Because you get excited when you go rent a movie. You don't want to have to sit there for 5 minutes if it's a long movie while it rewinds.
Understand that, but what I'm
Imagine
saying
the
is,
Lord of the Rings on
and this is-
VHS. You
I
kidding
understand
me?
that. What I'm saying is, at a certain point, I think Blockbuster is responsible for stepping in and saying, "We'll go ahead. Don't worry that you didn't rewind the videos. We will rewind the VHS."
I worked at a small video rental place in my hometown for a short time, and we did have some there. But you got to remember, dude, that's hundreds of tapes. Every one of those rewind machines costs probably at that time at least
Burn them.
$80 to $100.
You rewind 100 tapes a day, and you're going through rewinders a ton.
Fair point.
Yeah.
Well, hey, this is
the least you can do as a customer. Rewind your damn VHS.
Be
Yeah.
kind, please rewind.
in another millennialistic minute, kids. We used to have movies on tapes that you'd have
Big
to
old
rewind.
boxes.
Yep. You didn't get
Before DVDs
DVDs, yeah, or
And
Blu-ray.
streaming.
and
Yeah.
before streaming.
Yeah, wow. There's kids out there that have never bought a disc before. That's
Shout out
wild.
Redbox and Netflix delivery.
Redbox. Wow, there's a throwback. Is Redbox still around?
No,
I feel like they were until
They
pretty
are.
recently. I've seen them at Walgreens sometimes.
Yeah.
Okay.
are they still a thing? I thought they got robbed out of existence.
That's only in Florida, DJ.
Oh, I was in Florida when I was seeing that.
But anyways, millennialistic minute brought to you guys by Millennialistic. All
What a
right,
flash.
Fair enough.
back to
Redbox is still a thing. That's
Redbox.
it. Okay, I'm done.
All right, very
I
good.
looked it up.
Go to redbox.com, rent a fucking movie. Redbox, send us money. All right, so let's jump in our time machine. Let's press the rewind button. Let's go back to like November of 2024, right?
Okay.
So fresh off the second year of Goddess Awakening.
Great
you
year.
know that you want to do a third year. How do you even like begin to piece that together?
Well, first of all, you need a venue.
She sat up straight. That's how you know she's about to get really serious.
Well, you need a venue. You need a venue. So we had a venue in Arkansas for the first 2 years, and in November we still thought we were using that venue. So then we picked the dates. So we picked the dates and we announced, and yeah, and then you start doing your thing, really.
Yeah, I mean, with the survey that we send out, last year was very informal with the survey. But we were asking a lot of people that were involved in 2024, what artists would you want to see at 2025? So at that point, that's when I started, looking at the list, looking at followers, how much their reach was, estimation of their cost, because there is a whole algorithm on that side as far as talent buying, what that is. And then just started loosely reaching out to some of the agents and just sending out feelers to see, is this going to be possible? Is it way out of our range? Which, I won't say a name, but there was our number one was completely out of our range and was we were very surprised by that. So we did pivot, and then we ended up having an absolutely stacked, amazing lineup for 2025. So it was great.
I agree with that.
Yeah, Brian, dissect that for me a little bit. So, like, you get these surveys. Do you dive into these people's music? Do you see where they're from? Do you try to categorize them by subgenres? Like, what's your process there for building together an artist lineup?
Yeah, it's very, so I always look at curating a lineup as very similar to a DJ set by itself and also a song. So it's like you have a build up, you have a climax, you have a build, breakdown, another climax, and then it smooths out through the rest of the night. So when you're choosing your artist, you kind of want to make sure you're putting that same direction with who you're booking. As far as the reach goes, yes, obviously huge headliners are somebody that everybody's going to pay attention to. But then once you start getting down to tier 2s and tier 3s and locals, regional headliners and stuff of that nature, you got to see who's active in the scene, who's actively promoting themselves, who's actively promoting what events they're actually working with as well. And then just see their overall skill. I mean, just definitely listening to a bunch of mixes if they produce as well, listening to their productions, because that can tell you a lot as far as their professionalism and what they know about the music. So, and then just going from there and start talking to them.
How many, and this may sound like a really dumb question, so forgive me. How many hours, when you're in full on festival mode, and you're all right, I need to scout a whole fucking lineup. How many hours a week would you say of music you're listening to? How many hours in a week? Okay? What's the math come out to? 24 times 7. Hey Siri, what's 24 times 7? 168 hours in a week. How many of those hours would you say you spend listening to music?
I mean, I listen to music a lot. What helps us out too is when we're doing our other events or traveling all the time to Nashville to visit our friends and stuff like that. We have all those hours that in the car that we can listen to stuff. What I find really funny though was the fact that I'm predominantly on myself a house and techno DJ and producer. But somebody I had ran across months before the opportunity arose was So Sus, because she did a bootleg of a Fisher song, and Fisher is one of the biggest tech house DJs in the world, and I loved it so much, and I told Samantha to listen to it. And then when we had something happen that we needed to fill in a tier 2 artist on the lineup, everybody started mentioning So Sus, and I just pointed straight to her. I was like, that's that remix I sent you 2 months ago. I was like, it was meant to be. It was almost like we had already seen that she was going to be a part of part of Goddess Awakening. So, but I mean, listening to the music over and over again, and then just, seeing where they're playing, the size of their events, and then also deciding the areas where they are performing, how close that is to us. So Denver is a quick flight, Dallas is a quick drive.
Well, and another big thing is we have artist applications. So obviously that's a good place for us to start. And then like he was saying, we take a lot of the feedback of, who people want to see. But for me, going through the application and seeing, the answers that they have to some of the questions, because we obviously are a music festival, but it's more intentional. And I have one of the questions, it's like, Why do you want to play Goddess Awakening? And I love reading that question because honestly, it will narrow out quite a few people pretty quickly. If they're like, yeah, I just really want to play my first music festival. It's like, well, yeah, okay, but like, why do you want to play this music festival? And some of the people will write like paragraphs on paragraphs and just like how honored they would be and how this is such an aligned experience for them and how, so those parts really do matter too. So if you're filling out an application, no matter what it's for, it's an application to get a job. So definitely if you're an artist and you're applying for next year, when we do open applications, just keep that in mind because it does definitely matter. And we definitely do read those, questions.
Yep.
I feel like you're giving spoiler alerts out, Samantha, for free. You're this like for free.
It's tips. We want artists to succeed as well.
So people they subscribe to Millennialistic. Yeah. Okay. That's why you listen to our podcast. Okay.
But like just to reiterate one more time, like what Samantha just said, Goddess Awakening isn't just about, having an awesome music festival. It's also about curating artists and helping artists become bigger than they were or help them get that audience that they deserve and stuff. So like she said, it's really a big deal to make sure you're filling out that stuff correctly.
In military vernacular, he's piggybacking off of her.
Okay. Piggybacking. Okay. So I had you just threw me off, dude. Okay, I gotta go back to my notes here. Okay. No, I was just saying though, like would you say, Brian, when it comes to again like is it half of an art and half of a science? Like is it half demographics where you're playing, what are your streams, what are your followers, and half like you gotta go by the feels, what are people saying, what's happening organically, a little bit of both type mix?
It's really just the science of all of it mixed together, I mean, doing the right things, filling out the applications, like Samantha said at the beginning, will get you to that next level of at least us listening to your music and then looking at your socials and stuff like that. Because I mean, that's very, very important is like I said, if somebody's got a really big reach, like, a few thousand followers in Alaska, they're not necessarily going to have those same thousands of artists or thousands of fans in Tulsa. So that's something you got to take into account as well. And then you got to look at, ROI. It's a huge thing I'm always talking about, your return on investment, like, yes, I would absolutely love to be able to pay for this artist to come all the way from Alaska because they're absolutely amazing. But are we even going to sell a ticket because of that person? The level where we're growing and stuff like that, that's something that's very, very important to make sure to do is stay on, your budget.
Well, yeah, talk about that. I mean, being a grassroots and there's no corporate sponsors, right? We've tried to get Millennialistic as a sponsor.
Millennialistic is a sponsor.
Liquid Death.
Yeah.
Needs to sponsor us really quick.
That would be a dope sponsor.
But anyways, I've been talking about like when you're putting together like especially artists, like everything, right? The venue down to like the porta potties, and you're doing it like on a budget. How do you does that become? I would think that becomes really difficult at a certain point to be like, all right,
absolutely.
I really want to have this artist, but here's my budget, and it's like, I really want to have this venue or whatever, this, whatever it may be. Yeah, how do you guys weigh that? And it may go back to what you were saying, Samantha, about like their purpose, but how do you weigh like the budget versus the purpose? Does that make sense? I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I think what I learned, at least especially this past year, is sticking to what we are able to do, whether that's for an artist, whether that's for the venue, whether that's for anything else that even security. I said, hey, this is my budget. What, I know you guys, we had the best security team ever this year. Like, shout out to them. We love them. They're going to be back. They can't wait to be back. Yeah. But it was like, this is my max budget. Like, this is the top of it. I wasn't even playing games with them because I knew I wanted them there. And they worked with me. And that happened with several, even with our headlining artists. They tried to get us, their agents tried to get us to go up. And I said, hey, this is what we got. This is what we can pay you. This is who we are. This is what we're doing. Like, please, let's work it out for everybody. And I would say 9 times out of 10, we were successful with that because we were honest about, what we can afford or can't afford.
Yeah, I mean, like one of the biggest things is like, do you want to do this once, one and done? Or do you want to grow with us where, every year you're a part of it in one way or another? You just keep coming back as it's getting up to that thousands of people coming through the gates as opposed to the hundreds where we're at right now. So that's just one of the biggest things too, is just really trying to reach that individual and talk to them specifically and explain to them, the message that Samantha has developed over all these years and what we've developed together, as a team, just like, hey, this is our vision. This is what we want. We would love to have you at this, cost, but if we go higher, we're going to have to sacrifice either other artists that are, a little bit, maybe in their career path before you and not quite where you're at, or we have to sacrifice something else. And we don't want to do that where we're at right now. So, like she said, 9 times out of 10, it worked really well in our favor and we stuck to it. It also helps us honestly know who the correct ones are for our vision that want to be there for the right reasons. So,
yeah, no, I definitely get that. Is that, would you guys say that's probably one of the biggest challenges, is just like working with like that kind of grassroots budget? I keep saying that. Is that the right term? Grassroots?
Yeah.
Independent. All my women who are
grassroots,
independent, throw your hands up at me.
Yeah.
As Charles once said.
I mean, I think now that we have got, this was my third year, Brian's second year, and our team's third year collectively, it just makes it a little bit easier to plug and play and know, like, if you have a starting point, this is our full budget for the year, and, kind of adjusting that from the prior year. Okay, we spent 20% of the budget on artists, for example. I don't know exactly if that's correct, but let's just say. So then next year, if we're increasing our budget by 20%, okay, now we know what that number is going to be for increasing for the artist budget or for the security budget. But yeah, of course, money is always, in everything that we all do, of course, it's just a big conversation, and it can be a hard thing. But I really feel like this year especially laid such a good groundwork to go forward, and we made such a good impression again in Tulsa at this really awesome venue. And we'll see what next year holds, but I think we have lots of great content and lots of great numbers to go forward and show people, hey, you could sponsor us and it could be beneficial for your business as well. Because that's the other part. It's like, we don't want you to just give us money. Like, yes, of course we want you to give us money, but we want it to be beneficial to everyone who's involved. Like he was saying, like the artists who are up and coming or who are about to pop off, or, really popping off and want to have that extra spotlight. We know whether it's our vendors, we want to make sure they make money and they have a good time. And our sponsors, of course, like I know a few of our sponsors got some business from a few people that I know of for sure, which we love that. We want them to be happy. We want them to keep coming back. Exactly. There you go.
Exactly, man. Because like I literally know of three of you guys that have already either made orders or in talks with Bright on doing some printing for them. So shout out Dylan and crew out over at Bright. Like that was an amazing partnership. Like I don't even like calling it a sponsorship. We were talking about that just the other day. It's an amazing partnership where they came out, they had fun, they met some new people, and now they're making money off of it as well, which is absolutely perfection in what we were trying to do.
Speaking of which, shout out Tribe. You guys have been awesome. Can you guys pick up some stickers for me?
Yeah, we already got you. We already were talking about that.
We got to order when you pick up.
Yeah, if you guys wouldn't mind, if they have our QR.
Yeah, and we'll bring it, when we see each other next, which we'll be talking about that here in a minute. But to go back to the first thing you were talking about, it is for me kind of a double-edged sword though, as far as talking about the money side with the artist, because 25 years in this business, I've ran a nightclub, I've ran an after hours club, I've ran a night in a well-established nightclub in Germany, and I was a touring DJ all throughout Europe and America throughout my career. So there's a lot of times where it's like, I see an artist come in and they're like, yeah, I want to get paid X, Y, and Z. I'm going to tell you straight up, like, I would love to pay you that, but I can't right now. So here's what I can do. And I think one of the biggest things that kind of wasn't, utilized as much as I had hoped this year, but was the incentivized ticket sales that we did with artists. Is like, yes, I can pay you this much, but we're also going to make sure that as we do better, you're also going to do better. So if you sell a ticket, you're getting 10% of ticket sales. That helps also the promotion for everybody, because who wants to play to 100 people or 1,000 people? Of course you want to play to 1,000 people, so that really definitely helps out there as well. Because I know what is involved in the artistry of being a DJ and a producer. There's so much more money and time and effort that people just don't take into account. But again, it just comes down to, here's our budget. This is what we can pay. If in every time we have to talk about the budget, we'll just go a little bit higher. We'll just go a little bit higher. We put ourselves out of business, and there is no year 3 or 4 or 5 or 6. You know what I mean? So it's very important to stand on that budget.
Well, and that's, we've said it publicly on this podcast multiple times, but one thing I've always respected about both of you guys is that it is what it is. Like it is what you guys say it is, and it's never overpromised and under-delivered, which I think is where most of these festivals, like you said, Brian, like kind of, I just sent you one to me. I don't even remember the name of it, but like just canceled this past week. That's like business 101, right? It's just overpromising and then under-delivering, right? Of just, you can't throw this big giant festival unless all your I's are dotted and your T's are crossed, and that's just
been there.
So let's rip the Band-Aid off. Haters are going to say that the biggest thing with Goddess Awakening still is that ticket sales aren't where we want it to be at. What do you guys think?
Are they
There's multiple levels of success.
Yeah, go into that.
It's not always necessarily 100% how many people you had through it. It's how many people you gained as far as for advocates for you. For me, that is a huge success when you're still in the low hundreds of a homegrown music festival.
Well, and also I would like to say that any person, let's just go back to Friday night. Okay. Let's just go back to Friday night when the 100 drums and all the other awesome artists were playing. I remember being in the crowd, just like every single person who came up to me, especially people who had been there last year or even from year 1, they were like, oh my gosh, look at all the people. Like, look at all the people who are here. And like the people who were there, like the vibes were so good. We had very few small handled safely situations. And, there was no overdoses. There was nothing of, crazy significance that security really had to deal with. And I call that a success. When there's so many people just like vibing and dancing. And like one of the things that the venue actually had let me know is we had low alcohol sales. Well, I kind of predicted that one. And we kind of manifested lots of sober people coming to our event, even though it's not a sober festival.
I mean, okay, I'm just like, this is the #1 podcast supporter of your music festival. Isn't it hard to throw a music festival in today's world? Isn't that almost counterculture to like what's happening of like, don't people go to music festivals to drink alcohol and do a bunch of drugs and get fucked up? And like, you've gone the total opposite direction of like, hey, you're not letting your freaking nitrous tanks in. We're not doing all like, so talk about, I mean, because again, it goes back to like, we've lost ticket sales because of how strictly we've enforced not letting nitrous tanks into our venue. Like, so, talk about
definitely
sticking to the mission versus driving ticket sales.
Yeah. And I mean, I think it will all come. And I've said this since year 1, that like the right people will find us and the right people will come. So yes, I do think we're growing. We are definitely growing for sure. There was a significant growth from last year to this year. And I also know that we're still trying to figure out like who is our ideal customer or customers, you know what I'm saying? So like I said, we're not a sober festival, but we do have lots of opportunities for people to still have fun and be sober. We definitely had a few meetups for people who are sober curious, which I really love that. Brian and I just hit 2.5 years no alcohol. We're actually sitting here drinking our NA drinks. Yay. But yeah, I think we did get quite a bit of chatter online from our rules, which basically were, like you said, no nitrous, super dangerous, and it's also very triggering because it's very loud. So like loud noises or even the noise specifically is really triggering for a lot of people, myself included for the loud noise portion. No weapons, very standard, even though we are in Oklahoma. We don't allow weapons on site. We can't, control that. A very normal festival rule. And then no glass, again, very standard for a music festival, because when glass breaks, danger zone, like, hello. Yeah. And then we also did have no pets, which I would like to, that's another segment, but I would like to figure out how we safely do include pets. But for this year, we just decided that, no pets. So obviously service animals. And we actually did a really good job. Last year, we didn't really put the rules out soon enough, I don't think. So a lot of people did bring animals of all assortments. This year, I think we only had a total of 2 dogs, and one I never even saw. Someone else told me that it was there. So I think when you have like standards that are above what some people are, following for themselves, it's going to make some people unhappy. But again, it's like such standard music festival rules that if you look up, Wakan, Dance Fest, Bonnaroo, all of these rules are on that list, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, and to piggyback off of that as well, like, people did have a conversation about that, to be honest, 100%, I won't say which festival, but I copy and pasted those rules from another major festival. And I took some of them out. Well, and I took some of the lines out. So for somebody to say that this was, for somebody to say that this was just so personalized by us, it wasn't. I didn't even write it. It was copy and paste. And if you go to every website of every festival, it's pretty much all copy and pasted the same way. It's required by the venues as well. So it's like anybody who's not doing it is not conducting business professionally. And that should be a red flag if you're going to go to that event, because you got to really question that. And then the second thing is like last year in particular, we had a headliner that specifically said no nitrous. That individual was a recovering nitrous addict, and that was a requirement by us that it was not to be on site. And the people who decided to go against that, they broke that rule that we were required to have by that headliner. It's not always just a decision of the people who do the festival. It's also requirements by a lot of your artists.
Yeah, I think it's just really, I think it's cool. We take a stand on kind of stuff that doesn't, like you said, Brian, I think it boils down to like, do you really want to go to a festival that's like allowing that stuff to happen?
Right.
Well, and some people will, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Those people can find another festival that, resonates with them more. And another thing that I wanted to point out is like, we are a family friendly music festival, which is not the case for a lot of, some music festivals, especially the ones that are heavy in the EDM side, where it's 18 up only. But we are including and welcoming all families. And I had several people tell me or tell someone who then, relayed the message to me that they'd never felt safe or comfortable bringing their kid to a music festival until this one.
Yep.
And a lot of kids got to come to their first music festival because it was a safe environment for everyone. So again, whether you're sober or not, and if you want to party, that's cool too. Like, but just know there's going to be kids there. So in general, I feel that people are acting a little bit more tame when there's little kids running around. And we had tons of kids.
Different
Yeah.
environment. All right, we're going to take a quick sponsorship break to pay some ads, but we'll be right back. You guys
All right,
really
before we
see
get
my
started, do
Caucasian
you
skin.
guys get free meals on Veterans Day still?
Do I do it?
Yeah.
I haven't really been, but she kind of
I
looks.
sometimes find him and I'll tell him, but he's never really taken advantage of it.
Why
Right, because
not?
it's weird now you're not in.
Yeah, not only that, but also
It's
usually they're
called
more crowded.
Veterans Day. That's the
I know,
whole.
that's what I'm
When
saying.
you're broke
Get
and
your
live
free
in the
shit.
barracks, yeah, you go hit 6 restaurants that
You're
day.
not a veteran.
You're treated the same.
You're active duty.
They treat you the same, and that's when you go take advantage of it. When you get out and you're a grown ass man, it feels weird.
We
Yeah.
made a holiday for you guys to
We
go
didn't ask
get
for
free
it.
pie from our
Yeah, no, we didn't.
Be honest,
This
didn't
is good content. You should be capturing. I feel like. I don't know. I think the raw veteran shit is entertaining.
awkward shit. I'll be honest. When somebody fucking thanks me for my service, it's the most awkward fucking time to respond. I'm like,
Oh,
sure.
Sure.
recording.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fucking,
So
I get it, but it's the most awkward position to be put in because I'm like, yeah, okay.
what I'm
thanks.
hearing
You're
you guys
welcome.
is
I didn't join because of you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no.
but we're just trying to say thank you.
I know, which is why it's awkward because we don't want to be an asshole too, but
It's
it's
an
like,
awkward position for us because it's like,
So what
So
do you
should we
want
not
us to
say
do?
thank
Go to
you?
work?
yeah.
thank you that you flushed the toilet after you took a shit. I don't know. I mean, like, you
No.
just do it. Like,
No,
No.
not
a-
everyone just does it.
Well, it's a job. At the end of the day, it's just a
Yeah.
job. So like, you're just thanking me for my job that I chose to do, and it's an
No.
awkward response. Like
No, that's wrong.
you can ask 10 veterans, and I guarantee you 9 of them will give you the same answer.
Here's
at
my
least, if not all 10.
Except for the ones that have all the bumper stickers.
Yeah, there she goes. I taught her well.
That's from a veteran. I can say that.
Yep. There's not one fucking thing
The
on my
hat and the
vehicle.
shirt and the
No.
car.
Not on
Now,
this
I will
podcast,
say,
Samantha. You're gonna
Around
get
here,
canceled.
most of those are you're like Vietnam, Korea vets
Hey.
that are walking around with
That's-
walkers and shit.
Yeah,
You're like,
that's
yeah,
different.
I get it,
They
buddy.
can do whatever they want.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't see much of the like our generation doing that.
In Oklahoma, you
You
do.
do it a lot here.
Down here,
Yeah.
I don't really see
You
it.
can spot them pretty quick.
They'll have a Tacoma and there'll be no back window anymore because of all the fucking army stickers or whatever's all over it. Like,
It's
bro, we got it. You served.
Now, I
Okay.
will say the Marines, granted,
Yeah.
happy birthday, Marines.
Yeah.
250th today. But you can spot a Marine by a bumper sticker a mile away. Don't matter if they're,
Yep.
or they're 70 years old. They got that Marine sticker on their window.
Simplify.
I never killed a guy in Vietnam, so I'm gonna stay out of this argument. But
Okay.
yeah, I appreciate the freedoms that everybody gives me from Veterans Day. Thank you guys.
You're welcome.
Being American, at least I know I'm free to do.
I didn't get told to do it. I chose to do it. So I feel
The
awkward.
men who died, who gave their right to me, and like gladly stand up next to you. Anyways.
Why wasn't he filming that?
Yeah, what the
Oh,
hell?
this is recording.
We're recording.
Oh, good.
Oh, okay.
That's perfect
Okay.
content. Just put that on the front.
Yeah, right.
Guys, from Millennialistic Podcast, thank you to all the veterans out there because we know some gave all gave some. And it's not just a job, you guys. Okay? You guys didn't have to do that. That's what Smith was saying. You guys didn't have to. I never served in the military. I didn't have to do that. I didn't sign up for that. They don't have lawn care day. Okay? We have Veterans Day because you guys defended our freedoms. Okay? So thank you. Gosh. Anyways, okay. Happy Veterans Day.
That's tomorrow. But yes, happy Veterans Day. Yay.
Marines
Get your free meals if you want to, but if you don't, you don't have to.
Use your free meal. That's why.
And Starbucks, you get free coffee.
And if you haven't had your red crayon
Okay, give
today, have your red crayon for the Marines.
Yep.
Give us top 3 Veterans Day discounts from stores. Like if I'm a veteran, I need to go somewhere.
Well, the discounts are 365. Veterans Day don't make an extra discount.
But like where are
Yeah.
the top places to go on Veterans Day for like their giveaways?
Let me give it a Google. Hold on.
I don't know. I kind of just go to work.
Yeah, it's not like a. I mean,
I will say Disney does a
Oh.
good discount.
Veterans Day. But
Well, no, all year round, but
I'm
yeah.
gonna say if you get the Freedom Pass, it's all parks for the whole year for like $260.
all right. I found Veterans Day free meals, and I haven't heard of the first or the second one, so I'm gonna skip those. Applebee's.
I was just say I normally hit Applebee's, Chili, and B-Dubs.
BJ. Oh, we have BJ's. I don't know if you guys have BJ's.
Oh, BJ's
BJ's?
Steakhouse, yeah.
Yep. Active duty and retired. You get a free chocolate chunk Pizookie.
Yeah.
Dang. And November 12th to the 31st, you get an entree. Oh, wow. You get a free appetizer. All right. Bob Evans, free meal.
Okay, Bob Evans is good.
We don't have those, but you guys do.
We don't-
Nashville.
Oh, Casey's General Store.
Ooh,
You get a complimentary coffee or fountain drink.
love Casey's.
Never been.
Cattleman's, you get a complimentary sirloin steak. Dang.
Texarkana.
Chili's,
Yeah.
Chipotle, Circle K, Cracker Barrel, Dave and Buster's, Denny's, Dickey's Barbecue, Einstein Bros, Famous Dave's, Firehouse Subs. I mean, we're only in F's. There's a lot. You
Yeah.
Google it.
Had a
You'll find
Denny's
answers.
here. There's no Denny's up here.
There's an Einstein's though.
No
Nobody-
Denny's?
Nobody understands
There's
Denny's up here.
Denny's. There's
One
around here.
Denny's in the state of Tennessee.
What? That's wild.
I grew up in New England. There's Denny's everywhere.
I grew up in Texas. There's
Unpack
Denny's
it.
everywhere.
So needless to say, there's a lot of places that we can go out there and take advantage of that discount. And I definitely do thank those establishments for doing that for us. So
Yeah, happy Veterans Day. You guys served and you guys deserved. You served, so you deserved. That's what I say. DJ, I'm showing you all the Denny's in Tennessee. There's two,
All right, there's two,
not just one. Okay,
just
wow.
one.
Why are there not
Wow.
more Denny's? We have Waffle House in the South.
yeah,
as well.
Waffle House.
We have both.
Well, here's the thing about Waffle House is FEMA tracks hurricane assistance based on Waffle House open status.
Wow, why is there only one Denny's in Tennessee? That's wild. I don't like Denny's, but that's wild. Okay, anyways, happy Veterans Day. Okay, next. Goddess Awakening 2025
We did
was a great success.
that. Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about the headliners. Headliners. Okay, the headliners from this year were really important. Were really big deals. Okay, so let's talk about headliners from this year. We've never had, well, we've had headliners before in the past, but these were by far the biggest headliners we've ever had in Goddess Awakening history. Wah, 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 wah. Hold on. I gotta get that woo celebration reaction. All right, so Brian, talk to us about what it took to book awesome,
Freedom.
amazing headliners like 100 Drums and Matty O'Neill.
So I mean, again, like we talked about earlier, just one of the biggest things too is that we did, recognize that last year, although we were very particular on booking, female and femme-oriented artists, that the lineup wasn't as diverse as it could have been. So that was something that Samantha really cued in on and making sure that this year was, a lot more diverse. So that opened up, a couple of different artists that we were looking at anyways. 100 Drums was definitely always tops on our list for that. Yoko was one that came up numerous times on our survey after Goddess 2024 for, artists that everybody wanted to see. So that was a good one to have as well. And then of course, Matty O'Neill was one that was always high on the list because of, Kyle wanting her at the festival.
Hey, what are you doing, Bubby? Hey, being chewy boy.
Yeah, our dogs were not wanting to stay
said,
in the
"Yeah."
bedroom anymore, so
Free.
they're out here with us.
Free.
Yeah, no, talk about that, Brian. Matty O'Neill's obviously been a big connection with Goddess Awakening from the beginning. So to kind of bring that full circle this year was a big deal, I thought.
Yeah, I mean, you and I were both in the green room with Maddie when she, came onto site, and that was a big thing. We talked about was how, Kyle wanted her as one of the top bookings when he was, around and still part of Goddess. So that was a very, very particular one that we wanted to make sure. We had reached out to her agent last year for 2024, but we were unable to book her due to a radius clause of another festival. So that was why, like you were talking about earlier, when do we start? What do we do? Her agent was one of the very first ones I reached out to, and it was still 2024, actually. I wanted to make sure that we got her locked in for 2025 before any other festival could, so we wouldn't be, not able to due to a radius clause. So that was a big one for us. Yoko was an amazing one. Like, I had, honestly, at the time when everybody was putting her on the list, I had no idea who she was. Again, I'm not as much into the bass music as I am techno and house. But once I started looking at what she was doing and stuff like that, and her level of production and the tours that she was going on, it was like she was an absolute amazing artist to be a part of this year's lineup. And then, I talked with her. I had an 1.5 hour long talk with her in the green room, and she's just an absolutely amazing individual to work with and an amazing person to be on this earth. And then 100 drums.
She was at the Super Bowl she's a big Seattle Seahawks fan.
Yeah, I'm glad you didn't tell me that until after, because I definitely probably would have rubbed her the wrong way and said something about that Patriots win.
So Yoko, if you're watching this, hand the ball to Marshawn Lynch is what we learned. So
I don't support this Patriots fan situation, just for the record. So
it's okay.
It's one of the reasons I almost stopped talking to him.
That is not.
At least you're not
true.
stuck with Jared Jones.
Actually, it is true.
Ask her who her orange cat Ben is named after. But anyways,
Stop.
Julian Edelman.
But I remember
Just delete that part out of the fucking podcast, please.
I remember you called me after you guys' second date. You were like, no.
It was our first.
First date. You were like,
Yep.
he's a Patriots fan, and I was like, stop, abort. But it's fine, right? It worked out.
All is true.
Look, it's fine. It worked out. All right. So our other headliner was 100 Drums, and we talked about her a lot on our last podcast episode. But just like getting to know her a little bit and really understanding her event promoter background and just like her understanding of all the ins and outs of everything that goes into something like this. But why don't you talk about your Smithy, your kind of interaction with her there Friday evening?
Yeah, she actually ended up coming to the venue 5 hours before her set, which is already super amazing that a headliner would, take the time to do that. And then I pretty much got to meet her, which was super cool. And I thought we were gonna, show her to her room or, whatever she wanted to work on with music. And she basically was like, well, I'm hungry. Do you want to sit down and eat some tacos with me and talk about Goddess? And I was like, whoa, okay. I was not expecting that at all. So I had to just kind of deep breathe and release some of the anxiety that came up pretty quickly and unexpectedly, because she is a really big inspiration as far as women in the industry and just people in the industry for that matter. Like you were saying, she has her own production company as well, out of LA. So we definitely talked about that, and just to be seen, heard, recognized by someone who's out here really truly doing it, and selling out all of her events and doing collabs with all kinds of artists. It was really, really special. Friday was my favorite day just because all around everyone and everything was going really smoothly, and I got to, like I said, hang out with her and see her set, which she did all original set, which was super cool. We actually had several artists do that. And then she even, I was dropping her off so she could work on music before her set, and I wanted to make sure she had someone's phone number. And she's like, no, I don't. Let me get your number. And I was like, oh, okay. And so we have communicated a little bit back and forth, and she has even invited us out to LA for her immersive project that she's going to be doing December 13th in LA at a secret location. She basically just let me know, whoever wants to come, let me know and I'll get you guys on the list. My sister actually lives out there, and Brian's a huge Disney fan and needs a new lightsaber. So we're going to be doing a little LA trip here in about a month, and going out to her show. So I'm super excited about that too.
Okay, so
not gonna make it.
I have a question about that.
Go back the day before that.
When you're going to events like that is a secret location. What does that mean?
So sometimes I don't know how they'll do it. It'll probably be email. Usually it's email. When you sign up for your ticket, they'll send you an email like, maybe a day or so before the event with an address. Sometimes it'll be a text message. Just kind of depends on the event, but I'm super excited about it. We actually got a text message from another production company out of California. It's called Desert Hearts. And they said, hey, we're doing an event at a secret location in LA on December 12th, the day before, which is actually the day we fly in. So we're going to be going to that one as well, which is going to be a lot more like house techno. They're going to have like vendors and pop-ups. It's all outdoor. And they're even going to do some flash tattooing. So there's going to be like tattoo artists and stuff there as well. So just so happens we'll be in LA. So we're excited about having 2 music nights in a row, and then probably brunch with my sister, and then Disney on Sunday.
So
Do you go to Jollibee?
Go where?
Jollibee.
I don't know what Jollibee is.
Oh, it's like a Filipino fast food spot in LA.
Oh, see, I haven't been to LA in like 4 years, 3 years probably. So I don't know.
Pinks, hot dogs, pinkies.
Mhm.
So if you were to buy tickets to this immersive audio atmosphere tour, how do you go about doing that?
I know you can go on I usually just go to Instagram and then pull up their artist page. She's also performing at the event as well. So either of their artist page will have Linktree and they can take you to the ticketing site. Yeah. Audio, it's called the Immersive Audiosphere Tour. So he's going to be traveling around. She said it's a really cool setup that he has created with the audio. If you're a big audio, what do they call them?
Sound system.
Sound system culture. If you're into sound system culture, this is going to be right up your alley. But yeah, he'll be performing, she'll be performing, and I think there's a couple other artists as well.
Immersive.
I'll have to miss it.
LA, December. Oh yeah, DJ will be traveling the world. But
Yeah, which is also super cool.
the rest of us might be there. Okay. All right. Let's get into your number 1 highlights from this year. So, Brian, thinking about how creative an experience the whole weekend was, if you could think back to one moment, one glimpse in time from the weekend, that was your big takeaway, what would it be? He's in deep thought because it was a good question.
It was a good question, and there was a lot of good moments though too. Honestly, and it'll sound maybe a little cheesy, but was the moment that Samantha said that it was an amazing time to have somebody of 100 Drums a statue recognize what she's saying, respect what she's doing, give the shout outs at the level of what she was doing, because even on her way out to our festival from LA, 100 Drums did a live and was like basically talking about, other, festival promoters saying it's not possible to, to equal out or even out a lineup. And she's like, well, here's this festival in Tulsa, Oklahoma that is doing it. So you better recognize and start taking notes.
Wow.
And that was a jab at some pretty big, really well-known festivals. If you look at her tour schedule, you'll see who she was kind of, throwing jabs at, but for the fact of what we're doing at our level and being only year 3 to be recognized by so many of these high level professionals is an amazing feeling for me. And then a secondary amazing feeling as, Samantha's life partner, seeing her be so proud and happy for what she has done.
Yeah, I love that. Samantha, what would you say your number 1 highlight is?
I think just Friday as a whole was just like one big. I mean, I called it an acid trip, and I was completely sober, but it felt like an acid trip where it was like it was just so magical. Getting the experience with 100 Drums, getting to eat delicious tacos, just seeing all the artists like out there together that we've spent a year planning and all of it coming together. Friday night at the stage and just seeing the stage come together and all of the people that were there and all the good vibes. You could literally just feel like the good energy all around us. So I would just say Friday as a whole for me was definitely a highlight.
Friday, period, as they say.
Period.
Friday, period. Okay. We mentioned the LA. You can get tickets for the Mercers. Yep, it's December 13th. Okay. All right. So before we get out of here and we hop over to the Patreon, which if you haven't subscribed to the Patreon yet, you can subscribe for just $1 per month.
Only $1.
That $1.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Yeah, that was DJ's idea. He's so smart.
$5 over here.
Yeah, I'm greedy.
I think I pay $5.
Yeah, Samantha pays $5 because she's in the VIP.
Oh, we do have
VIP.
I don't know what it does, but it's $5.
$3 for
get a free
normal
sticker and
Oh yeah.
all of our love as well. Okay, tell us about our resident DJs that have been, a lot of them A1 since day ones. We were talking earlier about putting our people on and promoting our people. So let's talk about some of our resident DJs. Not only, easy plug here for Geister von Brooklyn, our favorite DJ of Deutschland, yeah. And
Geister von Brooklyn's my favorite.
And Space Kitty, who also does really well. But let's talk about
second to Tiesto.
Ghost in Space. Okay,
but it's close.
Like Skrillex.
No, Skrillex is like number 5. Tiesto's number 1.
Okay.
Whoa.
Number 2. Ghost in Space is a tight
me above Skrillex, so you better say
Tiesto above Skrillex was my problem.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, yes, we have Geister von Brooklyn, who is one of our resident DJs. He's been here since year 2.
Hello.
We also have Missy Midwest, who has also been with us since year 2. And then we have our OGs from year 1. We have Lady Bandy Roo, and we also have
Miss
Maddo. So we literally are coming from, that's 4 different states represented just right there. So that's another thing I love about our team and our artists and the people involved is like we're literally coast to coast. And we've even booked now 2 artists, I guess an artist and a duo from Canada. So we are internationally booking artists.
We're global. Why is it like those core resident DJs? Why are they so important for the festival and like its growth?
So I would say the biggest thing is they're just totally bought into what we're creating and have been since they've been involved. Whether it's the people from year 1 or the people who found us, between year 1 and year 2. These people are just totally bought into the mission and believe in what we're doing. And also see how it can benefit their own businesses as artists and the other things that they are working on for themselves. So it's like a team, but we're also helping our team members, grow in their own spaces as well.
And I think from my side too, like a little, not really a shameless plug, but like just to speak on it, like Samantha touched on earlier, we're not a female only event. We're not a female only festival. We don't have just females on the lineup. But one of the biggest things we want to make sure is like with a careful curation of the males that we are bringing into this space is that they recognize that there is a necessity and a dire need for this balancing of the lineup curations. You look at a festival that has 300 artists on it and there's 8 females, that's just not going to cut it. And there's no reason at this day and age anymore whatsoever that's even a thing. So if you feel like that's okay, then that's okay. Go do what you're going to do. But for us, we recognize that there's a definite need, and the men that are going to keep pushing this mission as well are very important, so that way we can start leveling out the playing field. Just talent and artistry doesn't matter what sex you are or what you want to say. There's no reason for it to be so bad anymore.
You guys can't say it, but I can say it. We're tired of listening to white guys play rhythm all the time. Yes. And you heard that straight here from Millennialistic Podcast. But no, all right. So we're gonna carry this over into the Patreon. But before we get out of here, I have one last question for you, Samantha, specifically. Why should people believe in the mission and the vision of Goddess Awakening?
Why should they believe in it?
Yeah.
Uh,
That's a good question.
because it's I mean, there's a lot of reasons, so it's kind of hard to wrap it up with that, but I would say the biggest thing is, this did start as an idea that was, myself and another friend, and we wanted to create something that was unique and not just another music festival. And that's one of the first conversations we had, is like, we want to stand out. We want this to be something special and unique and different than the other thousands of music festivals out there. And, that's basically what it's grown from, is a few friends, making our dreams come true. And like I've said a few times now, it's like, I want everyone to be inspired to, show up for yourself. And whether that means that you're dancing at the stage all weekend long, or you're going to, find some workshops that are unique to you, or you're feeling like you can be yourself in a safe space. I was really proud that we got to do the drag bingo brunch in Tulsa, Oklahoma. That's definitely a huge deal to, be doing things that should be normal and should be okay anytime. But we literally create a safe space for everyone. And that's just, to me, that's a reason that people should get behind it. Is it's a small homegrown homey festival that's going to turn into like a boutique festival that will sell out. And we do create a safe space for everyone, and we want to be as diverse as we possibly can, not just for women, but, all across the board.
I love it. Well, if you did not get enough Goddess Awakening in your life, we still have merch available.
Yes, we do.
They can still
Got some beautiful fans.
Wow.
Oh, look at you guys. Oh.
Yes, this was designed by one of our artists out of Oklahoma City, D. So it's very special, very unique. Not AI. Wow, look at that. Love it.
Also got a few t-shirts left, some stickers, couple of beanies.
Oh, yeah, we do have these beautiful, cute beanies embroidered in pink. And we got these cute stickers designed by Brian here. Yeah. We're going to be getting those on the website soon, too. So thanks for that kick in the butt.
Christmas ornaments.
Ooh, that'd be cute.
Your Christmas decor already up.
Yes, we have a lot of Christmas decor. This is just, this is our raised elevated tree because our cats like to eat it. So this is our hopeful good option for now. And then we have our front door is actually wrapped as a Christmas gift. I worked on that really hard. It's Snoop on the Stoop Christmas wrapping paper. Yeah, we'll send you some photos. There's a lot going on Christmas in here so far.
Yep, love it. Christmas is one of my favorite holidays, so this has been great.
Me too. No,
I love Christmas.
I love Christmas.
Bonus question.
Wait. Oh, wait. Hold on. Wait, before we get to that question.
Okay.
Where can they follow you guys on socials? Guys,
Instagram at Goddess Awakening Fest. Goddess Awakening on Facebook. We're also on TikTok. So we've been taking a little breather, taking a little break, but definitely follow us to get, all of the updates as soon as we have them. But yeah, expect to see some updates probably after the first of the year. So yeah.
Okay. Follow Guys Stuff on Brooklyn. Follow
Space Kitty.
Follow Lady
Ghost in Space.
Ghost in Space.
Batto. Missy Midwest.
Millennialistic on Spotify and
everywhere.
Apple Podcasts and YouTube and everywhere else. And before we move this over to the Patreon, you can also subscribe to our Patreon for, again, just $1 a fucking month.
Dude, it's worth it.
We are about to get out of here. We're about to transition over to Patreon. But everyone else, this has been episode 1 32 of Millennialistic. We are.